Good Sunday, everybody. It's Jason up near Revolution Garage. And I was going to do, so we did an LJN Revisited. That's up now. And I was going to do a power hour. But I had something else that I wanted to show you, wanted to talk about. I figured I'd pump up another video for you. So, the other night, not the other night, everybody always says the other night, the other day, the other night. It was like a month and a half ago. The children's mother and I were sitting out here in the garage, which has become really everybody's go-to spot, which I like. We were sitting out here, and I think the kids were at a sleepover, and we had gotten some food, and we were drinking a little and talking, and drinking and eBay don't go well together. Drinking and memories and reminiscing don't go well together. But I was thinking, so we were sitting out here, and it was like 8:30, 9 o'clock at night, and we were watching TV, and one of the dogs was out here, and we're like, wow, this is exactly what old people do. And then I remembered my grandparents, who literally did the same thing during the summer and fall. They would sit in their garage, they would watch television, they would smoke cigarettes, and they would just spend their evening in the garage, and the dog would always run around. So I was like, man, I'm coming full circle, really turning into my grandparents, which is great. I'm fine with that. Then I started thinking, well, okay, I started thinking about my grandparents' garage and some of the things they had out there, and I was like, oh, I should I was looking for something on eBay that they had, like a dish or something. I don't know. I've already got a dish, like a candy dish, down in the cave that was my grandparents' identical. I was like, what, and I thought of this particular item, and I'll tell you what this item is. This item, so from the day I was born, my grandparents, I have photos of early life in their house, because that's, I was the firstborn, and my mom was young, and so we spent a lot of time at my grandmother's house. And if you look in those photos, you can see things. You can see a yellow and white knitted Afghan, an orange and white knitted Afghan blanket, whatever it was, that existed in 1976, folks. That blanket sits downstairs in my room. My grandparents, so who doesn't modernize, right? Why don't you, who doesn't remodel? Who doesn't throw stuff out? I can't tell you how many blankets or pillows or knickknacks or pictures or whatever, even furniture that we've had since living in this house for 16 years that is gone. So gone. But from the day I was born to the day my grandparents died, this orange and white Afghan blanket survived and stayed on their couch. Who does that? Is that an old people thing? Is that a different generation thing where you don't throw stuff out because you don't know if you're going to get it again? Or, what's wrong with this? It's perfectly fine. Why would we get rid of this? Let's keep this. Okay, cool. I get that. So I'm looking around some of these photos, and I see something that just immediately, I'm not even going to say it's sparked memory, because it never left my memory. From the day I was born, my grandparents had a floor ashtray, a very 70s orange, about not even 3 feet, maybe 28 inches tall, maybe a little tall, but an ashtray, and it was like Very, like I said, very 70s, very orange. It would sit right next to the chair on the floor, and you would smoke and put your ashes in it. And that ashtray existed from the day I was born until the day my grandparents died. Yes, I remember that ashtray. Still, they didn't use it as an ashtray. In fact, I think they put it away. I think they put it like in an upstairs bedroom in the last couple of years of their life, because my grandma wasn't smoking anymore. And I think that they were like anti-cigarette furniture, like ashtrays and stuff. My grandpa still smoked, but so anyway, this thing existed my entire childhood, this ashtray. And I remember using it actually as a bowling trophy. So when I would bowl with plastic bowling pins in my grandparents' house, and I bowled, a 300 or whatever with plastic bowling pins, I would award myself this trophy, which was an ashtray. And I have several photos, including this one. In fact, this one involves bowling. Here I am standing here about to bowl, and you can see the ashtray. If you see it there, I'll leave the photo up for a little while. You can see the orange ashtray sitting on the ground near the couch so that you could have easy access to dispose your cigarettal ashes. All right, so I said, wow, what if, could you, I was like, could you imagine finding that? This needle in a haystack, 1970s, 1 in a million, where are you gonna find it? So I was like, we should like look around antique shops, because I'm really close to Canada, relatively speaking. I'm an hour and 20 minutes away from Canada. Literally just traveling one road, Route 104. And we've done that when we've gone to some Comic-Cons together. We just travel Route 104 and we're in Canada an hour and 20 minutes. And on the way there are multiple antique shops. So I was like, we should take a drive one day and just, we'll never find it. But so I was like, well, let me go on eBay. I was like, well, I don't even know how to type it into eBay. What am I typing? Orange floor model ashtray 70s. Well, apparently I picked the right combination of words, because one came up, and I found out that it's being listed as like a space model Italian 1970s ashtray, and it was $325. And I was like, I found it. I found it. Like, the idea hits my head. I get on eBay and I found this freaking ashtray that we had when I was a kid. How cool would that be out here in the garage? We are completely non-smokers, but how great would an ashtray be? Well, $325. Okay. I mean, if I'd had a few more cocktails, maybe. But I was like, all right, I know it exists. I know what to type in. So I keep looking every once in a while, and I see a white one, a white one, identical, same thing, just painted white, and that's $69. And I thought, well, I could paint that orange, but it's not the same. It's the same, but not the same. Whatever. So eBay will suggest things based on your search. So right below that, in the suggested for you, was the orange ashtray. And it was very, very sun faded, and a little, it's not rust, it's like corrosion on the tray part where you would actually put your cigarettes. But folks, it was $25. So from $325 down to $25. And I messaged the woman and I said, I'm very excited to see this. This was in my grandparents' home. I grew up with this ashtray. I used it as a toy when I was a kid. I'm going to buy this from you, but I'm just telling you the story. And she wrote back, "Oh, I love that. I can't tell you how happy I am. As an antique dealer, we just love to see things go where they belong." So I paid $25, and a few weeks ago, my grandparents' orange ashtray, 70s Italian space style, apparently, came in the mail. Here it is, folks. When I tell you that this is such an insane memory jog, or again, not even jog because the memories are so fresh. This is such a childhood item right here. My grandparents' 1970s ashtray. Now, it's very sun faded and it's got some scratches, but you can see here the orange that it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be a very, very vivid orange. And I've had this for 2 weeks and still haven't gone and gotten orange spray paint to redo this. I don't know if I want to. I like the sun faded look. Here's the damage on top. This is where you would put your cigarettes, I assume. Now here's the crazy part. You would put your cigarettes in here, and then you could open the tray, and the cigarette ash would go down there and live down there for months until you decided to unscrew this and pour out the ash. What is the deal with smoking? Could you imagine? You just let your ashes build up. I don't remember my grandparents ever doing that. Maybe they did, but I guess you could just empty this out if you wanted to, but you could also dump it down in there. So this, as you can see, is corroded. I tried cleaning it a little bit, and I did, but I scrubbed and it didn't come off. So I'm either going to paint this like a silvery, shiny, metallic silver, and then paint this bright orange that it's supposed to be, or I might just leave it just like this. I'm not sure which one I want to do. I'm leaning more towards leaving it like this since I haven't gone and painted it. But anyway, you saw the photo, and one more piece of childhood is mine again, and it sits. You couldn't see it in the photo, but it sits right here. It sits right there near my spot. And yeah, so that's just, childhood ashtray brought home again. I love it. Thank you, eBay. All right, that's all. Happy Sunday. Good night now.